the
Time
whole
to
team
take.
doing well, man.
Nah, it's just same old Roach family, man. We still here. We enjoying the
Okay.
moment though, but we still here. Same old Roaches.
Shoot, man. Now we here, man. The fight is over. It's been some time, man. You guys been doing some interviews. People wanted to talk to you guys about the moment and who you guys are. You guys still hold a title at 130 pounds. What's new? What's going on? Like, talk to me, man. There's a lot going on.
Hey, nah, man, we just chilling right now in the gym training, man, getting ready for what's next. But hey, I don't know when the last time we've been on. We talked about it before the fight. We ain't talked about after the fight, but um, we just we just where we knew we was gonna be after the fight though.
So listen, you guys end up, getting a controversial draw. A lot of people believe that you guys won the fight. Lots of people believe, hey, Tank could have won that fight. The knee was one of those things that people feel like, is just kind of like took it like there's no way that he could have won if he took that knee at that moment in time because the fight was just so close. But tell me, I see that you feel like you guys were successful. You feel like even without the knee, you was gonna win that fight.
Yeah, I think most people believe we won that fight, and I know some people believe he won, but most people believe we won that fight. Seeing that we won that fight, just boxing politics played a role. That's what happened that night. Let's just keep it a buck. Um, Lamont won that fight. And you damn sure
Tell
factor that knee in is question because the knee is a knockdown. You've been watching boxing how many years? You've been in the corner. You got fighters. I bet you all your fighters will tell you that that's a knockdown. That one I wouldn't tell you it wasn't.
mm, that part.
Mhm.
So tell me, now that we here, it's all about the performance at the end of the day, right? That's where your value comes in. Tell me, do you guys feel like you guys could have did any more to take it over the hump? Like people are saying, hey, because of the corner situation with Tank, he wasn't, really focused. Have you been hearing some of that?
Yeah, yeah, you hear a lot of stuff. When the Tank was focused, man. Tank ain't trying to lose no fights. People could make up excuses all they want. It just what happened on that night. You know what I'm saying? Tank was focused. Tank trained. Tank had a camp. He came in camp light. Um, he came in camp, already close to his weight. He was training down here at Bangers Gym. Burry trains his fighters. Burry ain't gonna let up off of him. Calvin ain't gonna let up off of him. He had Kenny Calvin and Burry in the corner. Boogie as well. My man Bug was in there. Um, so he had four good trainers right there working with him for this fight. So it's a this slap in their face to say he wasn't focused and ready. Uh, he just met his match on March 1st.
Mm, mm. Do you feel like he specifically went to the Headbangers Gym per se, just because it was you guys? Per se, it's like you guys are familiar with the gym. You guys been inside the gym, sparred in the gym, worked in the gym. I think I heard an interview with Lamont saying that he's done like 70 rounds in front of those coaches. Do you feel like that was a strategic move upon his way about going about this fight?
Mm, I mean, I'm telling what's going on. Only a few know pretty what's going on with Tank. We all know it was some issues. It's some issues within his camp, and he went to somewhere he was familiar with. So and that's headbangers. So that's why he went to headbangers. That's it, and that's all. Ain't no whole lot into it. He had some problems where he was at, and he got away from him and went with where he familiar at. And then somehow they worked it out and they got back together.
You think it played a factor in the fight?
No, why would it? It's something he's familiar with. So how can something you familiar with play a factor in something that you've been doing? You heard all the lead up to it that this ain't nothing new. From Calvin, from Burry, from Tank. So what's the excuse for? So they done it before. They won with it. You got to set what happened when you do it and you don't get the results you want.
Listening to other fighters like Lorenzo Truck Simpson, and me interviewing him and him saying, when he had to go to Rodney Shields, eventually he wants to merge Calvin and Rodney together. He says that Calvin, there's only Calvin can get me there. He's the only one that can get me alert. And I asked him, do you think that's similar with Tank as well? Now, if they're having issues, do you feel like it's playing? That's why I asked. I was like, do you feel like it play a part in the fight if your coach is a main factor of how you get these dubs or
His coach was there.
KOs? Hmm?
His coach was in the corner. Last I seen Calvin in that corner for 12 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Seen him at the end. So his coach was there. So I can't say it play issue. Everybody case different. With Truck leaving for, I don't know them reasons. That's reasons they not gonna disclose to everybody.
Yeah.
They gonna say what need to be said, but they not gonna disclose those full reasons why they left or why they not together. It could be mutual agreement for them to part ways, or and keep a certain type of love from the history outside of boxing. But who knows? Who knows the reason why fighters only they can cut out there and tell the truth. Have both of them on the stage and ask them why they both right there and see if you can get it out of them. So, but we, I don't know. But I know that night you had a guy with four coaches in this corner, focused and ready to retain his titles. Man, he fought. He fought. He did some great things in the ring. I didn't see nothing different from looking at his previous fights. Only
No.
difference was he had a better competition on the other side.
Mm, mm. At the end of the fight, he says that he made it that competitive. It was him. What did you get off of that remark?
It may be fairly, that's him. That's a fighter talking for you.
Yeah.
They see things in the ring that they probably think they could have done more. That's just normal talk out there about. So he not go. What he gonna say? He couldn't have done more. It wasn't him. He gonna blame somebody else. He blame. He's saying he could have done more. That's normal statement from a fighter.
Mm. Now, I was listening to you in what is it? What it is, right? What it is
Oh, Cam
podcast?
Mace. Yes,
What,
yeah,
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 Cam
Cam.
and Mace.
Is what it
I,
is.
it is what it is. That's right. I seen you guys up there, and you know, I heard that you said that he tried to bite you. In the camera view. We can't. I don't know if you've seen the camera view. Obviously, you did. You watched it. I heard you watched the fight numerous of times. But but did you see it in the camera view, or you only seen that attempt live?
I seen it live. I told you I didn't see no replays out before that. He told you I said locker room. Yeah, I seen it. I seen it what looked like it. Then when I heard the commentating, they alluded to the similar thing that I thought I saw.
Well, the view that I seen in the camera view, it definitely looked like it was something. He was in there, doing something in there. I don't know what he was doing. Uh, but wow. I mean, it happens. I've seen Edgar Berlanga.
Yeah, I
You
seen
obviously
Edgar.
seen you
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
the implements. Holyfield. Look at his ear, because my man Mike Tyson. He did it the
yeah,
right. He did it the real way though. He
yeah.
grabbed the chunk out of it. You know what I mean? But
He got.
have you seen it in boxing though? Like other than like the big stages, like have you seen fighters that they go for the ear from sometimes?
I seen it maybe a handful of times. The ones you mentioned. That brought me back to that because
Yeah.
that's what it looked like to me. That was obvious what it looked like, and I said it after the fight. I ain't seen no replay. I said in the locker room. We looked back at it, and that's what the commentator seen too.
Hmm.
But he didn't. I don't know, man. You gotta ask Tank, man. What he was doing at that moment, but it looked like he was trying to bite my man at the time.
Um, after the fight's done and stuff like that, you see the cameras and all the content that comes out, and Tank was like, you're shaking. and then there's a video you was you shaking. Yo,
But then he was saying, then I look back at it, I just bust out laughing. You know what I'm saying? But it was a lot going on that day. I was enjoying moments from where I grew up at. Reminiscing, but but far from being nervous, anything as you can feel, like we was more than ready for this fight. Um, but that was a funny moment. You look back on it.
so here's a question that since you've been doing interviews, I didn't get from anyone to ask. You guys have history with the team. It's like family, you know, vice versa, coaches, the fighters. What does it look like? What's the emotions after the fight? How is it
You talking about now or right after the fight?
right after the fight and right now?
But damn, after the fight, it's disappointment on our end because we thought we won the fight. So
Mhm.
a draw might seem nice, but when deep down you really know you won, and a referee, experienced referee of that magnitude, I can't call that a mistake. You know what I'm saying? He did. I can't call a guy like that that been in there so many world title fights, making a trifecta mistake like that. It's too much going on for him not to take that point. He only did it because it was tight, and the commission had the opportunity to review it, and within the rules they could have did a change as well, um, and they didn't. But that's boxing for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people don't like this sport. But at the end of the day, I thought we won without that. Um, you're gonna dominate a second half of a fight like that and don't get the nod. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen that um, in boxing too many times. I've seen a lot of decisions, but you take over a fight like that in the second half of the fight, and you normally get the decision. I don't care who it is.
Now, when you look back at that fight, what do you think? Like some people are looking at it like it's a classic. There was just so much good stuff, good technical stuff in there. And you're part of the like, legacy now. Like you're part of like boxing history, like if you really look at it. That do you feel like that's always gonna be a classic fight?
It is, but it ain't gonna be in the history books like it should be.
Mm.
That's supposed to be in history, etched in stone. Something that it's what you see. But somebody that when we gone, it's gonna have to be. Do you remember? They can't look it up, and then they can't see it in the record books for that particular day. You know what I'm saying? So they stole something from a boy. So it's that always gonna sting. But I didn't answer about the camp part. That team over there got much respect for um over there on that other side. Them guys in that corner we've been battling for years. So it's competitive, but it's always love and respect at the end of the day. So um, that feeling ain't changed.